tomorrow all things are gone. I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away.
Hey, good evening. What's going on, Paul?
Not much. Doing good. Getting ready for the Ranger game.
Good. Yeah. It was a good game the other night.
Oh, yeah.
For what I could stay awake from, I kept falling in and out. Nick was on the couch. He kept tapping me. They scored again. I was like, I was in another universe. So I'm hoping they take it tonight again.
If we can go up 2, that would be big.
And then when do they go back on the road? When's the next game?
It's 2 at home, then 2 away, and it's every other day. So play tonight and they'll play Sunday.
Oh, okay, Sunday. That'll be cool. It's been a very interesting series. So
they're doing really well.
Yeah, they are. They're
nail
looking
biter.
good.
After the first 2 series, they were nail biters. That was scary.
Yeah. The last game before this one, Nick and I were watching, and they pulled the goalie in like 3 minutes, and then we scored again, and then they put the goalie back.
Yeah, I guess that was over at that point.
Oh yeah, at that point it was over. It was just it's funny because what was it, 4-0? They scored a goal, and then Carolina's going nuts, they're waving their flags, and everybody's going crazy. And then the Rangers come back, score a goal, and then as they pan over the crowd, everybody's with their heads down, and people are crying. Yeah, that was it. They took away all the momentum.
Yeah.
But hey, listen, that's how we feel to be as like Ranger fans sometimes. So.
Mm-hmm.
But they pulled it off. No, it's a great day to be a Ranger fan. So win or lose, I'm still proud of my team. So
exactly, win or lose at this point. I mean, to me they were overachieved this year. So they're a young team. So to get this far, they did well.
Yeah. You know, we got then you got Fox. Fox is a local kid.
Yep. He's a Jericho kid, or.
Yeah, he's from Jericho. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a Long Island kid, which is pretty cool. So he's on a hometown team. Which is.
And we got the Italian kid, Frank Vetrano.
Yeah. There you go. Right, namesake. They spell a little different than yours,
a little different, but he's Italian.
That's all that matters. So Paul and I took the kids. We went hog hunting. What, about a week and a half ago? 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
We did a trip. So Paul's 2 sons shot nice pigs. My son shot a nice pig. So we took him to the butchers. And as Paul and I are standing there, we did a little tailgate like we always do. And we're BSing and talking. And what do you tip the guide? I mean, the guide that we had, it was him and his daughter. They really went above and beyond than any other guys that we had. I mean, the guy took us out there. He was very good, very patient with the boys and stuff like that. He knew they were young hunters and, a little inexperienced, but, they had us, Paul and I there for the experience, but he was a true gentleman, then to take the animals out, to skin them, to quarter them, to treat them the way he treated them, to put them in a cooler, pack them with ice. And, so the big debate comes, what do you tip somebody for, for something like that? Is it, and that was a relatively inexpensive hunt,
right.
So
and
tip the guy,
most of that hunt, you're really kind of paying for the pig not so much the service, right? So it even makes that hard to tip, right? I mean,
and something like that. I mean,
if you shot a Watusi, right? Do you tip the same? You tip more? It's their services are probably almost the same.
Exactly. When they were talking about those exotics and stuff like that, obviously it'll go up more, but for the few $100s that we went for a pig, if you tip the guy 20%, it's really not a lot considering what the guy did for us.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the big debate comes.
I was trying to look on the internet. People are all over the place. There's people that say $50 a day if you go deer hunting or turkey hunting. Then you get the people that say 10%. They're not usually saying 15 to 20. People who are saying 10. So I don't know. You don't want to be a cheapskate, but you just don't know. And I don't, it's a tough one. I don't know who to ask.
Well, exactly. I mean, I don't know if anybody's listening, if anybody got any insight on this, anybody wants to, help us out a little bit, what they tip. When we would go down to Eastern Shores, when we did them goose hunts and stuff, I mean, those guys, the night before putting out 1,000 decoy spread,
right.
All that work, all that effort. I mean, it was a 2-bird limit at the time when we were going, but I mean, if you factor in the work that the guy did, I mean, I know he's getting paid and I know he's doing what he's got to do, but to make it a success, when we went that day, we had 18 guys in those A-frame blinds, and we limited out in like 3.5 hours, which was insane. We had a great day. They broke everything down. They did everything. They cleaned our ducks for us. They cleaned everything. I mean, if you go by 20%, you're looking at like $20 a man as a way of a tip, right, or something like that. So, I think it's all on the service that you get. When we go on these deer hunt trips, especially, where we go, us guys as New Yorkers, especially if you go somewhere at a Jeff's podcast on Rangers Ranger Night. Yes, Jeff, on Rangers Night.
Right. They don't stop playing until a little after 8. So
yeah, we got time. This is going to be a real fast podcast, Jeff. And you're an Islander fan. What do you care about?
Yeah.
He's probably rooting for us to lose.
Probably. Hater.
But when we get our guides, especially if we're down south or somewhere out west, these guys, they I think they get more of a charge out of us with our attitudes and our New York accents and our twangs that I've been told that I have. I didn't know I had a twang, but I guess I got a bit of a twang, So I always like, if we're deer hunting, depending on where we're going, if I do, if you score, you connect and the guy really work, even if you didn't score, but if you shoot something and the guy's got to track it, he's got to, field dress it, drag it, and do everything he's got to do, like this. But if you shoot something and the guy's got a thing he's got to do, like this. I got a little feedback of me repeating myself.
Yeah.
I try to.
I heard that. It should be fixed. Something came across your thing, Andrew. I don't know. Maybe a phone or something.
Oh, I don't know.
I couldn't tell. It's gone now. So.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's one thing. Like I look at it like you do. I mean, you have your general tip pretty much that you would tip if you're having a bad day. A good day is the guys the same because they work hard. But then of course if you always have something exceptional that they done or you had an exceptional hunt, you like to throw a little extra.
Exactly. I mean, we went to Carolina that one year. That was the year before you came on us, Paul. It was Lewis, Bob, David, Joe, and Doug. Mm-hmm. I mean, we went one night in that one swamp. I'll dig the picture out for the next podcast, but we had one of those racks on the back. I want to say, I think we had like 7 deer and 4 hogs that night. These guys were working till 2 in the morning, cleaning stuff up. So, I mean, at the end of the hunt, for, I think it was a 3-day hunt. It was like a buck or a doe per sitting and a hog per sitting. And, I think we left there. I think Bob himself shot 2 hogs and I think 4 deer is what Bob shot. I only shot a pig because that's the only thing I saw. Lewis shot 2 deer. David shot 2 deer. I don't know what Doug and Joe. I don't remember what they shot, but I mean, we
Is
all
that the
took
year
some hefty
Bob,
amounts.
Bob had a penalty too, some penalty shots?
That was the year. Yeah, that was the year he shot. He shot a legal buck, but he didn't think he shot it, and then he shot a slammer after he shot that big 8-pointer. That's the one we have on the wall upstate. He shot that deer, and what I think jammed him up was when the guy came over and he said, "Did you shoot?" And he's like, "Yeah." So I not that I think Bob lied, but did you shoot? Bob said, "Yeah, I did. The deer's there." And I think the guy was referencing like, "Did you shoot before that?" But
Yeah.
that guy was very tough to understand. He, should have came with subtitles.
Yeah.
So when he like tracked the blood trail, he found the other deer, and then he screamed at Bob. So Bob was happy. He paid the fine. He did what he had to do. And then, as we explained to the gentleman, like, listen, if you're going to yell at him, we're not going to pay the fine. If you're going to, it's either he pays the fine or gets yelled at. You pick the one. We don't need the sermon. And we were trying to explain. He didn't comprehend what you were saying. But that was a year we walked away with a lot of meat. We tipped them very well at the end of that hunt. That was something that we they skinned it, they caught it, they packed everything up, they hung them in the walking box for the next morning until we got out, and then they made sure that they fit in the cooler, they fit everything. I mean, everything fit in the coolers. I think we had to do a Walmart run to pick up another large cooler, but it was a lot. There was a lot of meat at the butcher that year. So if you connect, but I've had years where I went and I had a great time. The guide showed me a good time. We saw some game. I just wasn't successful, and I still gave a decent tip. It's not his fault. That I didn't pull the trigger. They do what they got to do. But the big debate is, what do you tip these guys? If the guy goes above and beyond, me personally, I'll always give them a little extra. That's just how I feel, especially if I'm going to frequent the place and go back to it. I like to, I like that good rapport. I mean, we've been going back to certain places for almost 20 years now.
Right.
We got the same guide until he retires, and then you got the guy's son or nephew or something like that. So
you have guides that are fighting over you when you go back. I want Andrew.
That's because of the food. That's only because of the food. Yeah. That's because we bring them. You bring them all the nice little cookies and little Italian pastries, or if we hook something up in the kitchen here, they like the little stuff that they normally don't get. But getting into food. So we went turkey hunting, Nick and I. Nick shot a nice turkey. I shot a nice turkey. So the other night I made Nick's turkey. So Andrew and I made a brine. So my bird I plucked. I left it as a whole roaster. I'm probably going to do it later on in the year. I'll do it towards the fall. But Nick's I broke down. I broke it all apart. The breast, I boned it all out except for the legs and thighs. I left on a bone, but I put everything in a brine for 24 hours. Standard, run-of-the-mill brine, 2 cups of water, quarter cup of kosher salt, some pickling spices. I put some bourbon, and Paul and I will get into the bourbon talking a little bit, but I used the Taconic Distilleries. I used some of their bourbon. I think I put like a nice heaping cup of that. I put some honey. I put some mustard seed, some coriander, all the aromatics that you need. And I did it on a 24-hour, and then I put it on the Traeger, and I smoked it, 220 degrees until they were about 156. I took them out. I let them rest. They got to their 160. It was perfect. And we made Cubans last night. I made, made Cuban press sandwiches. Tonight I'm messing around screwing around with some recipes. I'm doing a Thanksgiving sushi roll.
Wow.
So I'm playing around with that. So for next podcast, I like I said, I started with a video, and then I got so involved, I never went back to it. And I got to see if Andrew and Nick got some pictures for it. But I just been so busy with work and just with what's going on. We had, Paul's oldest son, Zachary, graduated. My oldest son, Andrew, graduated. My youngest son, Nick, graduated. So the last 2.5 weeks been crazy. That's why we're kind of a little off our podcast schedule. But I tell you, the turkey came out. It was outrageous. It really was. Wow. It was good. And then we got the legs and thighs. I shredded up, and then we gave to Massimo to make his famous that like buffalo style tip he's gonna make. So we'll have some of that later tonight. We'll see exactly how it how that worked out. That my mouth is watering every time we get on here. We start talking about food. I should eat before.
Yep.
You know, but I got the pheasant we did from the Bob shoot. I know you had made something. You were sending me pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah, we did a pheasant in the crock pot, our favorite cooking device, with some bacon on top. That came out very good.
Yeah, the pictures look good. It really did look good.
Yep. And once again, my mother-in-law, Nona, when she realized what type of bird it was, she was going crazy over it. She was like, oh, she didn't realize what a pheasant was. It's not called that in her country, but she said it's a very, I don't know, like prestigious type of bird to shoot.
Okay.
In Italy, yeah.
So very, very desired bird.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
I know she said for next year that she wanted to come shooting with us.
Oh yeah.
You know. So
yeah.
When we went on the pig hunt, you know, Paul took 2 pigs. So he took a pig, you know, for his family, and then his mother-in-law Nona wanted her own pig.
Yeah.
So that's where the second pig came in on Paul's end.
With a shopping list, because she wants no waste. She wants the lard, the fat, the hocks, everything.
Yeah, and the butcher said he was happy to give it. You know, he said it's less to fill in a dumpster. So, and which is a sin to throw certain things out. But I mean, if she wants, you know, the lard and all that stuff, I mean, she's got them from all 3 pigs. I know we made the guide, you know, and that was another reason why we gave him a nice tip. When we wanted the hocks, he really took the time out to skin it all the way down, you know, down to the lower knuckle and stuff like that. So, I'm excited to see exactly, you know, her recipes, you know, from that portion of the pig. You know, some of it, I mean, we had used it years ago. I haven't used it in a long time. You know, but that's where you get the flavor if you're going to make your sauce on Sunday and you know, or soups and certain, you know, stocks and stuff like that. I mean, we had, when we were upstate, this is years ago, Moose, when he would make sauce on Sunday, he would always do the pigskin brujol. And he would take it, he would like blanch it a little bit, and then he'd take it out, and then they would, so as if he squared it off, if he had little pieces, like a little piece, like a little strip like that, maybe 2 inches by like 3 inches, he would cube that, and he would render that down. Like, so when he did his onions, his garlic, and you know, in the oil, when he would render that down, and then he would scoop that out and discard it, and then he would, you know, he would add the sauce to it. But they would make a pigskin brujol that they would, you know, they'd put like pinoles, they would put breadcrumbs, some hard-boiled egg, and then they would tie them up and they would cook that in there. But I mean, on my end, I was a young kid when, you know, everybody was cooking like that. I never really paid attention to it. I don't think I liked it that much. That's why I didn't pay attention to it. But I'd be willing to Google a recipe or two, or what I can remember, what I can Google, see if we can come up with something. But I'd like to, you know, learn from Nona. These are things that are just going to the wayside. So, you know, we pride ourselves on cooking, on family tradition and stuff like that. So, you know, some things, like I said, if it doesn't show that interest, doesn't spark your interest, you kind of turn a blind eye to it. But
you got to pass it along. Hopefully somebody's interested.
Yeah,
I'm not really a cook, but it seems like my son Paul, he takes an inkling to it.
I tell you, when we drove to the outfitter, you know, God knows we were in the car a long time, but to hear his college, and we had him on the podcast early on, but to see how he really, I mean, he cooks some gourmet meals in that little Instant Pot he's got, you know, very impressive. But
he cooked for us tonight, and I was impressed because he pulled out a little notebook. He's got a little recipe notebook he's got going of his.
That's awesome.
Of his favorites.
That is awesome. And that's what starts it, you know. When they were all in Scouts, going. You know, that's exactly right. You know, when they were in Scouts and we were doing like the cooking merit badge and stuff, I would tell them, I was like, you know, you got to eat good. You know, you want to feed yourself. You want to eat good. So, you know, you can't live on, you know, peanut butter chili sandwiches or grilled cheese. So, you know, pay attention. And, you know, Paulie, like my son Andrew, you know, they make some high, they make stuff to where I'm like, you know, sometimes I'm very impressed. You know, it's like, I can't believe that these kids are making this at that young of an age.
Right.
You know, so
I was
Which is
eating
cool.
romaine noodles, 25 cents, right? Romaine
Yeah,
noodles.
exactly.
At the supermarket. Yeah.
You know, if
my
you thought
extent.
you could doctor them up, you throw like a hard boiled egg in there or something like that.
Yeah. That was, yeah.
Yeah, we would throw like beef jerky in there or something like that just to give it a little different extra flavor or something like that. So they were pretty good. So we are missing. I don't know where Frankie is tonight. I didn't hear from him. Lewis should be on in a few minutes. We're gonna save our bourbon review. That we'll
Yep.
wait for Lewis to get on here because I think hopefully we can button his lip
Yeah,
on
when
certain
Lewis
things.
gets on, I got my bourbon mug. It says America. And this from Ben Shot. It actually has a slug in the side.
Oh,
I wanna see if-
that's nice.
I want to see if Yahoo Lou can identify the slug.
The slug you got in there. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Fair enough.
Because when you order them, you get to pick which
Where am I?
which
what you
caliber you
got?
want, which
Very
caliber
cool.
you want to go through the
Very
side of your
cool.
glass.
Yeah, we did a little. Not to get in detail, but we did a little bourbon tasting last week. We did 7 bourbons.
Yeah, we did 7.
We did
Actually,
7
it was 6 bourbons
6
and a whiskey.
and a whiskey. Yeah.
Yep.
And just stuff that
Scotch,
we all.
actually.
No, it was a whiskey.
Well, bourbon and Scotch are whiskeys. Everything's
Oh.
whiskey. Yeah,
I did not know
so
that.
it all falls under the whiskey
All the whiskey.
umbrella.
Okay.
You got Scotch whiskey, you got bourbon, you got Japanese, which I've never had any.
Yeah.
And then I
My
guess
son
you got,
Andrew
like
said that he had
Tennessee.
the Japanese.
Mhm.
Yeah, Andrew, you froze there for a second. My son Andrew said he had the Japanese bourbon. I don't know what his comment was, but he said he had it. He tried it. But yeah, we did. We had 7 that we tried. And like I was saying, just stuff that we all picked up from our travels. On a road trip. If you were down south, you were out west or up north or whatever. But I believe we had what, 4? I think we had 5 New York. 5 were from New York.
Mhm.
We had it was Taconic.
Well, they were all pretty much micro brewery kind
Yeah.
of distilleries, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had Taconic. We had Adirondack. We had Widow Jane.
It's from
Buffalo.
Brooklyn.
Yeah. Oh, 4. Maybe it was 4. We had Buffalo Distillery, and that was it. Yeah, because we had 2 from Carolina, and then we had Larceny.
That was very good, and we did it right. We did the blind taste, so nobody got trying to pick their favorite just from their name or because they brought it.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I did, and we'll revisit a couple of them. So what I did was I bought a couple. I bought like those dark American oak. It looks like a big corkscrew.
Uh-huh.
So I bought one of those, and I bought a light roasted oak chips. And what I did was I took the 2 that came in like towards the bottom, and I found something on YouTube where they I put them in mason jars, I put the chips in there, and then I'm just
Yes.
following like this
Mhm.
process on how to, I guess, make them smoother and stuff like that. So I put it in, I don't know, I got a mark, but mid-July they'll be done. So
Oh, okay.
we'll revisit those and see
Hmm.
who's the winner of those 2.
Very good.
So it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it, and then we've been toying around with recipes for pretty much all week. I had made a strawberry jam, and I just cooked down strawberries. I cooked down strawberries with just a little lemon juice, and that was it. And one of the kids, they took it, they muddled it down, they mashed it a little bit. I took a couple regular strawberries. We juiced them as much as we can get some juice out of them, and they put some of the Burnt Church Distillery, that Anita's Choice bourbon in there, and shook it, garnished it with some strawberries and blueberries. I got to say, it was, I had a little taste of it. It was really good. It was different. It was more, like some of the the liquor companies, they put out like the pre-made, like the lemonades or the strawberry aids or like the wild berry or stuff like that. It was on the order of that, but I mean, obviously it was fresh, but it was really, really good. I was like one of those, like if we were hanging out down by the lake, that was something, you know, you could definitely put back, you know, 3 or 4 of them before you realize what you did. It was that good. So I just had a little taste.
That was a good time. But as much as we're teaching the kids to cook and stuff, I got a kick out of seeing your son Nick and with the shaker. He was mixing the drinks. It was like, wow, that was a pretty good housewarming gift for him.
Oh yeah.
It didn't take
He's
him
like,
long
"Look
to
what I got."
open that up and start shaking drinks.
No, he's been playing bartender at home for the whole family.
Yeah.
You know, try this, try that. And I'm like, slow down there, kid.
Right.
You know, they really took a liking to it. So I guess if you're gonna, you know, you need a secondary job, they definitely have the personalities and the foresight to, if they want a 10 bar and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. You know, I enjoyed it. You know, but back on the cooking topic. So another thing, I didn't take any pictures, and I was telling you, Paul, I took some venison nuggets, and so I did a flour, cornstarch. I seasoned it with like a little salt, pepper, garlic powder, and I put a little bit of dry rub that we make in there. And then, you know, I coated it in there and I fried them. It came out with a nice crunch. So I kind of, I guess like a popcorn version, you know, popcorn chicken version. And then I made a bourbon glaze.
Oh, nice.
You know, and I kind of made a hybrid. I really didn't have the time. You know, I kind of used I used one of our favorite barbecue sauces that we use and stuff like that. And then I added some bourbon to it. I added a little extra honey and I cooked it down and I got it really like gooey. And I drizzled that on there and just to try it. You know, I mean, you don't want to waste food, but you know, the fried pheasant alone was good, but I wanted to see how we make it almost, you know, like a I don't want to say like a sweet and sour, but you know, almost like on a Chinese version with something with like a little sticky sauce and everything on there, like almost like a General Chow's, you know, on that order. But it came out really good. So, like I said, I've been in the kitchen if I got time. You know, there's nights where I'm bored. I'll be in the kitchen till like midnight or whatever, just messing around a little bit. But like I said, I start the recipe out. I do what I do. I start writing it down. I get more involved in it. And then I make a small batch and I don't take a picture of it. And that's been my bad because I know we like to put up some of our pictures. That's why I've been a little slacking on the Instagram, you know, department and stuff like that. So I'll get that out there. We'll come to revisit with the warmer weather coming. Now that we got nice weather coming. So we'll get a little backyard session going and we'll show some little videos and some pictures and stuff that we've been creating in the kitchen. That sushi that I told you that we made with Nick's, the turkey that I smoked, it came out good. The only thing that I was a little strange was I used the seaweed wrapper. So you got Thanksgiving and then you got that like little hint of, you know, the Long Island Sound.
Seaweed, yeah.
Yeah, you got that hint of Long Island Sound. It's like, it just throws you off a little bit, but it's you know, it's a work in progress. So when I'm kick off the podcast, I'm going to run to the store and they make those. It's like a rice paper wrapper. So I'll get one of those. I'll try one of those and stuff like that. So for next podcast, I think we're going to go on.
I think Andrew froze.
Yeah, I think Andrew, you're frozen. Can you see Paul or anyone? Either that Paul or he's playing freeze tag.
Yeah, it's
everything's up. The signal says it's up, and
he's been having problems with his internet. I think in the house too. So
at least he's not making a silly face or anything. At least he looks, you know, stoic.
Right. There is a YouTube video where they have the people at work and they're like making believe their thing freezes. And the guy's like, I see someone walking behind you. You didn't freeze.
That's pretty funny. He's probably trying to get back in.
All right.
Give him a second here. Unless his internet went down totally, but
Nah, I think it's going in and out. He was asking me today what type of router to get.
okay. Let's see.
Hopefully he comes back in.
Nothing yet. You have a song or anything that you'd like to do, or
No, not really. You do the over/under on the Ranger game.
I wonder what it is today. I can't believe the goals they were scoring.
Yeah.
He lost power.
What? In this house?
His house lost power.
Oh no.
Nope. and there's no Lou, so I don't know.
I don't think we want to entertain the whole show. I'm not set for a spiel for the for the rest of the show. I guess we could wrap it up and
let's see. Let me just see if I'm asking him right now.
yeah, he's texting me now.
Okay. Is he still out?
That's funny. Yeah, he lost power.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so
Why don't we wrap it up, Mike?
Yeah, we'll pick it up next time.
Sounds good.
All right, Paul.
Okay, everybody.
So long.
Bye.
If tomorrow all things are gone and work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I think of my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, well at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the ones who died, who gave that